multiple sets of configurations so that whenever you're using this common library for the entire project, you can just easily swap a configuration. So the concept that is using here is that you have parts and also assemblies built within Project Frog. So there are different personas that are involved. So first you need to have your kit designer that actually creates the libraries within Revit, and then within Revit you have your engineers, consultants, and architects actually creating those models within the Revit application. And then later on, for the manufacturer or the other downstream supply chains, they can actually use Dynamo and Project Frog to leverage the models that the architect has built. Or what we can do here is that the manufacturing design can actually be put up front rather than downstream. So with the kits of parts design, so this is where all the cloud libraries is actually placed within Forge. And then you can actually place some rules on how it can be managed in the cloud. So the workflow here is that if, let's say, you have your libraries within Revit, all the different types of parts, you can create assemblies here where you can actually publish this within BIM 360 and Forge. So in the event that these libraries will be used in the Revit project, all you have to do is to simply call out those libraries. So instead of having those RFAs locally in your, let's say, in your servers or in your desktop machines, all the libraries that is common between the manufacturer and the consultant is actually common and synchronized through the cloud. So you can establish a common library between manufacturers and consultants and even contractors as well. So in the event that let's say if I exported out these assemblies within Revit, and let's say this is our PBB unit, you can actually create multiple sets of configurations, whether with a toilet bowl or let's say 2 toilet bowls. And then from there, you can actually export out the bill of materials for that particular pod or PBB. So from here, the next step is that once that libraries have actually is being shared amongst different kits designer and also the consultants and engineers, you can actually bring this into Revit. So from a Revit model, what you can do here is that you can define rule sets so that in the event that you select a particular section within that Revit project, so in this case it could be a wall, you can easily replace that with an available library within Project Frog. So the workflow here is that first you create part sets within Project Frog, and based on the part sets, right, you can choose what type of parts that you would like to include in your assembly. So once you have done that, you can actually bring it into Revit. So there's a Revit plugin here where you can actually swap a particular assembly to a different configuration. So instead of like deleting the element and adding a new wall, right, a new wall type, you can easily use Project Frog to actually switch that as well. So in the event that you decided to switch to a different configuration, all you have to do is to select that element in Revit and then choose an equivalent manufacturable content within Project Frog. So this one is another example. So instead of replacing, this one is more towards creation. So you can also insert modules within Revit itself. So instead of like drawing out the, let's say, LOD 100 or 200 room, what you can do is you can go straight away by inserting those modules within Revit. So in the event that, let's say, you want to change a particular type, you don't have to delete everything and then replace it with a new type. So what you can do with the Project Frog is that you can just simply capture what is the available module and then swap with a different configuration. So in the event that, let's say, if you updated your Revit project here, you can always choose what type of configurations or presets would you like to use in the project. So that's the power of Project Frog. So instead of going through, let's say, from different level of details from Revit, you can easily swap this one. So the models that was generated by the architect, let's say if it is a schematic design, you can easily transition faster, let's say for fabrication or for construction, because these are already predefined by the contractor or the fabricator. So the next one is the workflows from contractors and also for the manufacturers. So we have design to manufacturing workflows within Project Frog. So the workflow here is that if, let's say, if you have a bill of material for a specific, let's say for a specific room, right? You can easily swap. Let's say this is a space within Revit. So what you can do is you can just simply replace this entire assembly to let's say it could be a PBBU or let's say it's a bathroom unit. So you can just simply replace that within Revit itself. So once that is actually already created in Revit, the bill of materials within Project Frog actually gets automatically updates as well. It can also integrate with Dynamo because in the event that you have a space and you want to run it for all across all the different common spaces, you can replace that in one go. So that is where harnessing Forge, Dynamo, and also the applications developed on Project Frog, marrying it into one single project. Alright, so for Project Frog, so what we can do here is that we can have a common library between design teams and the manufacturers. So where you can actually apply your own kit of parts, where you can standardize those libraries between, let's say, if you're a consultant and a contractor working together on a specific project. The contractor can share those models to the consultant, and the consultants can bring that information within the design itself. Or in the other hand, the consultant can pass this model to a contractor, and then they can automatically replace their assemblies within Revit without the need of redrawing everything. That's the challenge that we are trying to address. So with the center of the Project Frog, right, is actually the Forge application, where all the APIs that are available in Revit and also within Revit and also BIM 360, right, is actually merged into one single application, so that all of these different stakeholders in the project, it could be the product team or project team and even the manufacturers, are actually using a common data library for the entire project. Alright, so I'm just about to end my session. So I'm just going to talk about the workshop that we are conducting on December. On December 19th, we have this just in time 2-day intensive workshop for Dynamo. So this one is a 2-day session. So with this session, we'll teach the concepts. If you're a Dynamo user, great. But if you're not a Dynamo expert, it's fine as well. So we're going to teach about how to use Dynamo on the first day. And then it's more of like a hackathon session where if, let's say, if you have identified common challenges that you face or workflows that you would like to address, we'll try to address that in this workshop. All right, so if you're keen, I think there's limited seats, right? How many seats do we have? 40? 35 packs. So if you're keen, I think we'll share those details on how you can sign up for that workshop. All right, so thank you very much for your time. That ends our presentation. I didn't ask for questions. Anyone does have any questions? I got 5 minutes for questions. Yes.
Is refinery complementary or
yes, it's in its beta phase. Just when you're in, let's say, in your web browser, right? You can actually look for Project Refinery Beta, and then you can just sign up for it. So the latest iteration is Refinery 0.35, so you can just download that. If you're using Revit 2019, that's the most ideal one right now. Yeah. I tested it in 2019, the workflow is Project Frog. Okay, so Project Frog is commercially available already. It actually was launched the week after IDDW. So if you're keen, maybe later we can talk if let's say you want to test it out. Right? Any other questions? Alright, so for those who are shy to ask questions, you can actually just come to me later. I will be here until the rest of the session today. Alright, thank you.
Hello? It's too loud, isn't it? I'm going to hold this. The mic doesn't seem to clip onto my jacket.